Hey guys, good morning. So today I just wanted to talk to you about PACES. You guys are used to RACES. It's a short response strategy that we've used in the past. We've changed it up a little bit to make it a little bit easier on all of you. So we're just going to go through it this morning. This is PACES for writing success. Okay. So what is PACES? Like I said already, it's a strategy that helps students answer constructed response questions with short written responses. As you guys know, written responses are supposed to be like formulaic so that you get the maximum amount of points when you do your writing on your test this year. So we changed the R to a P, and the P stands for pick out the important words. So we think it's super important for you to pick out key words in the question to really decipher what it's asking you. So you first have to determine what it's asking. You have to pick out the important words, and then you'll use the important words to form a focused topic sentence. For example, the question is, what was the life like for serfs in the Middle Ages? You would restate that. You would pick out these pink key words, and you would restate that as life for serfs in the Middle Ages was blankety blankety blank. And that helps you start off your written response. It forms the first part of your first sentence. Okay? You're going to end your first sentence with answering the question. So you use the words that you picked out as important. Look for task words like explain, describe, compare, contrast, discuss, evaluate, identify, analyze, determine, etc. We've all seen them before. They tell you what to do and how you're supposed to answer. You want to give a concise and logical answer. You don't want your sentence to drag on forever and ever, amen. And the answer could be a few words or just one or two sentences. It doesn't necessarily have to be just one sentence. It can be. It's really just based on, did you answer the question? That's the question that you need to ask yourself for your P and your A in PACES is, did you answer the question? Okay, we're going to look at an example. So, for example, we still got that same question. What was life like for serfs in the Middle Ages? So the blue answer is the question. So remember, we picked out these pink words like life, serf, and Middle Ages. So they've finished up this first response with life for the serfs in the Middle Ages was very difficult. And we see how this ends our first sentence and how it's only two words, but it still answers the question. How was it like? It was very difficult. That answers the question. So step 3 in PACES is you're going to cite your evidence. Select appropriate examples from the text to support your answer. Evidence could be used as a direct quote or a paraphrase. You need to use specific details, and quotes don't need to be super long. So what do we mean when we say cite our evidence? When we cite our sources, what we say is, here's the answer that I gave, and now I can prove that answer because I found something in the text or I found a quote that proves that I'm correct. We have to be able to prove that we're correct, because otherwise how do we know that we're correct? Okay, so let's look at an example of C. So we still have that same question, what was life like for serfs in the Middle Ages? So we have our first sentence right here. Life for serfs in the Middle Ages was very difficult. And then the red paraphrase is citing our source. And it says in document 2, it's stated that they often worked 7 days a week because they had to grow food for the manor and themselves. That's a citation. That's us saying, I know that this is difficult for them because. And then the purple also shows a direct quote, which is also citing our source. It says also document 4 stated that serfs also had very little freedom because both landowners and church leadership could tell them what to do. So here we've given 2 fabulous reasons that we know that life for serfs in the Middle Ages was very difficult. Okay. So we're going to move on to the E, which is explain your answer. All these steps have been the same so far except the P from RACES. So if you remember RACES, you should know how to do PACES. It's really pretty simple. But we're going to move on to E, explain your answer. You're going to explain how or why the evidence you gave made a point. Demonstrate your understanding of the question through your response. So when you go back, like we look at what we've got here, what we just came from citing our sources. We've given 2 awesome citations that tell us what we know and how we know it. And then we're going to move forward to our explanation. Okay, so we still have that first sentence, life for the serfs in the Middle Ages, which has our picked out keywords, our answer, which was very difficult. In document 2, it stated that they often worked 7 days a week because they had to grow food for the manor and themselves. Also, document 4 stated that serfs also had very little freedom because both landowners and church leadership could tell them what to do. So that's up to our PAC. We've cited our evidence. Now we're going to explain why the evidence is important. A lack of freedom and constant hard work would make life unpleasant for anyone, which is an opinion of yours. Some people might like a lot of hard work, but it still proves the point and explains why you think what you think. So you have to explain your citation. Okay? And we're on to our last step, which is S for sum it up. We always want to end our short and written response with just one sentence, kind of bringing our point back around. I always tell my kids that if I didn't read the whole paragraph and just read your last sentence, I could still tell what you were talking about. And it seems kind of dumb and it seems kind of repetitive, but believe me, like that's what helps get you the maximum points on your test and on your written responses in my class. So step 5, we're going to sum it up. The last sentence should be a summary of your entire paragraph. Restate your topic sentence, but just in a different way. So let's look at how we've done that here. So we still got that exact same question, and the picked out keywords that we did, and the answer that we have, the 2 citations, the explanation right down here, and then we have a restatement of our topic sentence, which is, in conclusion, a serf in the Middle Ages would have had an incredibly difficult life. We just want to sum it up, like say it louder for the people in the back in case they aren't getting it, okay? But we see how our topic sentence, life for serfs in the Middle Ages was very difficult, reflects our summation sentence. In conclusion, a serf in the Middle Ages would have had an incredibly difficult life. So they look kind of like each other, but they're not the exact same thing. They're saying the same thing, but they're not written exactly the same, and that's important. So if we look at the entire paragraph, which we just did, it would look like this. This is a well-written and accurate response. This is what I expect of your written responses in class. If we can't do that, then we need to talk. But I think it's pretty simple. Again, if you remember races, then PACES is going to be just fine because it takes away that tricky restatement thing. And replaces it with just picking out keywords, which is a lot simpler. We need to pick out the keywords to see what the question's asking. And you don't just use PACES in my class. Use it in any class where you ask to write a constructed response. It'll help you get all those big juicy points, and it'll really impress your teachers, probably. If you have any questions, email me. I would be happy to answer them for you, but like I said, you guys should know this by now.